Good evening and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with your instant match reaction for Aston Villa 2, AZ Alkmaar 1. And yeah, we got there in the end. It wasn't pretty. It was a little bit sloppy. It was a bit frustrating. It was a bit slow. But we got there in the end and we got the win, which in Europe and in group games is what it's all about. So we're going to go through the team, the starting lineup, the goals, talk a little bit around the passing, talk a bit around one or two performances, and yeah, ultimately reflect on what was a positive result, but maybe it leaves a few questions unanswered about where Villa are at the moment in this potential little bit of a frustrating run of form. First of all, though, guys, we are well on the road to 2,700 subscribers. We need 40 more to get to 2,700. Well on the road to 3K. We want to hit 3K before Christmas. You guys can help us get there. Like, subscribe, and comment below your thoughts on today's performance. So, starting lineup came out, and it was strong. Martinez starting in goal, Konsa, Carlos, Longley, and Luca Dean again at left back. McGinn, Kamara, Tielemans in that midfield area, and Bailey, Diaby, and Watkins. And it was Kamara and Tielemans who were very much the kind of central midfielders, the sitting midfielders, and then it was kind of McGinn and Diaby in that space behind Bailey out wide right and Watkins right through the middle. And the way we started the game was absolutely tremendous, and very, very, very unlucky not to take the lead. Even though Longley scored, it was a corner put in by Leon Bailey. Ollie Watkins has the header. It's wonderfully cleared off the line by the defender. As he heads it out and deflects it out, it goes back to Leon Bailey. He crosses it in, and Longley heads it in the net. Easy header, but Leon Bailey was adjudged to have been offside as Watkins headed it because it was a deflection off the defender. Apparently, that doesn't count as an official touch, and it's still the same phase of play. So Leon Bailey was deemed offside, and that was a kind of sign of slightly things to come. We continued to play quite well. We continued to find spaces in and around the midfield, in and around the edge of the box. Leon Bailey looking the most threatening out of those attackers, but for whatever reason, that final pass, that final cross, wasn't quite there. Yuri Tielemans had a shot from out of the box that was saved by the goalkeeper, and yeah, slowly but surely, AZ Alkmaar started to get into the game a little bit more, and kind of got used to the way that we were trying to play. I felt we were a little bit slow, a little bit ponderous, and maybe not trying too many shots from outside the box that we really should have been doing, in my opinion, because you never know, could be a deflection, could be a keeper save on the rebound, and we can put it in. We had quite a few corners again, didn't quite get the rub of the green, didn't quite get our head onto them. Tried a couple of different ones and they didn't work. But as I say, AZ Alkmaar started to get more into the game. They were testing our high line. It looked pretty organised from our perspective. But one move that Alkmaar did muster up was a really nice move, and they did put it into the back of the net. But one of the Alkmaar players was deemed to be offside. So it was even Steven in terms of the disallowed goals, and 0-0 at half time. Both teams going in level at the break. Come out for the second half, and again Villa trying up that tempo, and try and start off on the front foot, but weren't quite there. And again, the passes weren't quite happening for us. The final ball wasn't quite there. Diaby was under hitting passes. McGinn wasn't really getting involved as much as he could have done. Watkins again was fairly isolated, and they were snuffing him out. And as I said, gradually, Alkmaar were getting more and more confident. We're testing our back line even more. And on the 61st minute, the 52nd minute, I should say, it did really test us. And Pavlidis actually put the ball in the back of the net. It was Bazor who played the ball from the back, and Pavlidis this time curved his run to perfection. Longley didn't really look behind him. Our line was fairly organised, but didn't really know he was behind him. And Pavlidis timed his run to perfection. And we know that he's a good finisher. He's bearing down on goal at Martinez, and yes, slots the ball in the back of the net. And cue frustration around Villa Park, and certainly frustration in my living room, and I'm sure frustration across every Villa supporter living room across the world. And yeah, it looked like we were going to be really frustrated on the night, but we seem to increase our tempo a little bit. And what you want to do in those situations is you want to get some chances, you want to get some attacks. And I think Bailey had a good run and put a couple of dangerous balls in, and we started to kind of put them on the back foot a little bit. Whether Alkmaar maybe panicked a little bit once they took the lead, I'm not too sure, but we kind of upped that tempo. And interestingly enough, crossing from the left from Dine, brilliant move, brilliant cross, eludes everyone. And Boubacar Kamara is running in. He misses from about 3 yards out, puts it way over the bar. And for whatever reason, the linesman or the referee gives a corner. And that's the 61st minute. Yes, we're not renowned for scoring directly off corners, but ball comes in. It looks like the easiest goal in the world. Diego Carlos gets his head onto it into the bottom corner, and his first goal for Aston Villa. And it's back to 1-1, and kind of relief is shown all around Villa Park, relief from the players. And all of a sudden, then we start to play. Diaby starts to get on the ball a little bit more. One or two other players. Watkins is starting to find spaces. Watkins is starting to get involved. McGinn's starting to get involved. And there was a couple of bad challenges. I think McGinn turned one of their players. Not bad challenges, but cynical challenges that maybe warranted yellow cards. I don't think the ref had too great a game. Maybe let a few things go that could have ordinarily been yellow cards, but it certainly wasn't down to that. But again, it still looked like our passing wasn't quite on. And one or two, it was potentially going to be that night where we maybe take a draw, and certainly Alkmaar, I'm sure, would have taken a draw at the start of the game. A few substitutions are made for both sides. Alkmaar make a triple substitution, then 5 minutes later, Villa make a triple substitution, bringing on Douglas Luiz, Nicola Zaniolo, and Matty Cash. And it was the Douglas Luiz, the maestro in midfield, who dictates the play and picks out a wonderful, wonderful pass for Ollie Watkins, who actually started the move really well, and he's right in front of goal to head it home and make it 2-1 Villa. And he timed his run to perfection again. I'm not sure if he was 100% sure with his celebration, but he was fairly, one or two of the other players were saying you're onside. And yeah, 81st minute, Watkins heads home, and 2-1 Villa. And yeah, we kind of shut it out from there. I don't think Alkmaar had really too much to worry us at the end of the game. There's one or two clearances from Martinez, one or two pieces of handling, but a couple of them I think would have been adjudged offside anyway. And we saw it out and managed to get the result. And for me, ultimately, that's what it's all about. Result at the end of the day is all that matters. Puts us on 9 points in the group. You guys let me know in the comments whether that actually means that we're actually through now. A few people saying that we are through. But let's have a look at the tail of the tape, though. So as I said, 2-1 to Villa. Carlos and Watkins with the goals. Pavlidis with the goal for Alkmaar. Second in the group as it stands, obviously, with that result over with Legia, that they beat us, but we've got the home return game coming up next. And in terms of momentum, yes, dominant game from Villa. 63% possession on this occasion, 37% to Alkmaar, 1.69 in terms of expected goals, 12 shots, 6 on target, which isn't too bad. 3 big chances and 2 big chances missed. Obviously, Kamara being the biggest. 8 corners again, and this time we did actually score from one, which is excellent. And yeah, 464 passes. So a dominant performance again. But what I would say is, and you guys again, let me know your thoughts. I do think we're a little bit sluggish. I'm a little bit concerned of Moussa Diaby at the moment. Is he finding the right spaces? Is he getting into areas that can hurt the opposition? Is he holding onto the ball a little bit too long? There was one or two occasions where he's trying to turn and twist and turn, and maybe he's just having that extra touch where he doesn't need to. Watkins obviously got his goal, but are we getting him involved in the game enough? And are one or two players looking a wee bit jaded? I mean, Dine, again, solid enough, but is he looking a little bit jaded? Is McGinn looking a little bit jaded? Because there's one or two moments there where passes were going astray, and players weren't necessarily doing what they were as sharp as what they were, towards the beginning of the season. But I'm sure this result will go a long way to kind of helping that. I thought Yuri Tielemans looked good again, and was really at the heart of what we were trying to do. And I thought Bailey was threatening, if a little bit wasteful, but certainly second half, a lot more of his crosses. He was going outside onto his right foot a lot more, which was putting pressure on their defenders. I thought he was out of that front three was the one who was going to cause the most threat in my opinion. Still concerned about Zaniolo. Obviously, he's come on late, but yeah, gives the ball away far too easy. He had a decent shot, decent effort that the goalkeeper saved, but it's times where he's getting in front of the ball and winning the ball, or looks like he's winning the ball, then he's getting brushed off the ball easily. He's giving the ball away sloppily. He's holding onto the ball for too long. We need to see him really stepping up, because if you're not doing it in Europe, where the pace of the game is a little bit slower, then how are you expected to do it in the Premier League? Longley, I thought, was pretty solid. Maybe tired towards the end. Carlos, I thought, had a decent game. Maybe could be a little bit quicker on the ball. He went off with a bit of an injury as well, so that might be a bit of a concern. But other than that, I thought it was a workmanlike performance, but one where we got the job done. Puts us in a great position in terms of the group. We want to win that group though, because we don't want to get into a position where we are facing a team that drops out of the Europa League. So the next game against Legia Warsaw, that is the decider for who wins the group, in my opinion. So let's make sure that we get that win in 2 weeks' time and settle this group. But look, we're getting more and more experience in Europe. We know it's fine margins, as John McGinn said. So to come from behind and win a game is excellent experience. And yeah, we can't be anything else but satisfied with the results. So that's it for me. We'll be back tomorrow with potentially a more detailed match reaction, but also match preview with for Fulham coming up. So we'll be back for a live show there. We'll also be back with any transfer talk and obviously match reaction to the Fulham game. Hopefully another victory. Guys, thank you for watching. Do please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help us hit 2,700 subscribers and help us on the road to 3K. Get involved in the comments as well. Let us know your thoughts on the game. Who was your man of the match? I would probably say Yuri Tielemans. Just shades it for me. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. And as always, remember, we all follow the Villa. Thanks, everyone.